Peace. Just relaxing on this Sunday night. You know, I was hoping someone would go live, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go live for the people. We're going to get into something very special, very exciting as well. It's a special. Just sitting here making some music, and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna go live. So gather in, chill out, vibe out, do what you gotta do. We're gonna start this off in like 2 minutes, 5 minutes maybe. Hope y'all enjoying your Sunday. I know my music's a little different, you know. It's still hip hop, but it's just, you know, I'm an artist, so there's a little bit more complexity to it. It's not just the same beat the whole way through. It changes like our emotion changes. It's important to let the music change. We have to take in mind, what does the music want to do? You know, like that's what I take in mind. Where does the music want to go? If I was this beat on a journey, where would I want to go? You know, what emotions do I fall into next after this? So gather in. I'm about to share something pretty cool. I think you guys are gonna love it. We're just vibing out right now. What's good, y'all? Take a walk outside. Let's speak in private. All right. Welcome. Let me just close my program down. Save. Okay. Now this is going to be a little bit different of a stream. It's kind of like a pre-recorded video that I have that I'm going to be talking over for you guys, just explaining the footage that I've captured. And so I'm quite excited to do it. So let me just get that into you right now. For everybody in the chat, thanks for joining us. Misael, Only the Wise, peace, much love. Hope you were freestyling to those nice grooves, people. NASA CGI Snakes, what's going on? Yeah, that's right. Smash that like button, people. Let's see, Rula, peace, thank you, knowledge, thanks for coming. I wanted to do this last night, guys, but it just got a little bit too late before I hit that 50 people. But I think we're gonna get there tonight. I hope you guys are watching the green streams and really understanding what's going on, and really taking it to your family, because we really got a lot to do, a lot of work. Okay, so FF says just how talented composers do it. That's right. I don't know. In my opinion, you just want music to be progressive, right? Like I always like when Erykah Badu does that a lot. You know, at the end of the song, it sounds nothing like the beginning of the song, and I really like that. I also like when albums the songs melt into each other. Erykah Badu also likes to do that. Nas has done that a couple times as well. Okay, so let me screen share this footage I got for you guys, and I'm going to turn up the volume, and we're just going to get right into this, and I'm going to explain what we're seeing, and if there's any audio problems, like always, just hold up a 2 or something like that. Flat Earth Trini, what's going on? All right, here we go. Let me close Pro. It's taking up a lot of bandwidth. What else can I close down? Everything else looks good. Hide my Finder. Okay, let's see. You better play. Yo, what's going on, YouTube? This is Masterpiece, as you know, and I just got this in the mail. And what could it be? Well, I'm about to open it and unbox it, but I wanted to let you guys know that this is ours. This is from the super chat donations, so I want to say thank you. Without these super chat donations, I wouldn't be able to do things like experiments and things that we're gonna do with what I have in here. You guys are familiar with the green streams. I'm doing the green streams, and we talk a lot about the blood. And what I wanted to do was I wanted a way to show you guys what's happening to our blood and our blood cells. So, I got us, the community, a microscope, baby. Check this baby out. Yo, thank you guys again. I can't thank you. With this, we're gonna actually be able to take a look inside of our bodies, so to speak, and see, you know, what these healthy juices or what these coffees are doing to us, or white rice, or good water. Woo! Oh yeah. Really excited about this, guys. Let's put it to use. Let's set it up. So, seated, and this is me talking live again, and I'm just sharing what I got first of kale underneath it, underneath the microscope here, and I was quite impressed you see here, this is the lane ways of which the water, the nutrients follow, and then they kind of go off onto these off ramps into the smaller sections of the fractals. I'm just kind of setting it up, learning how to do it. Nothing specific right now. It's gonna get intense, and so just stick with us. It's gonna get intense. So yeah, everything that's white that you're seeing when you're looking at the leaves, those partitions, that is like the highway for the water, right, and the nutrients and basically the information to flow. So I'm basically just focusing everything up. I got this focused here, and it looks great, right? You can see the tubes, and you can see all the chlorophyll. Looks nice. You can see like the cellular walls, the cellular wall structure. And as I look at that, oh, this right here, I sped it up ×2. What you can see is happening here is I'm flashing myself. You can kind of see that there's like a top layer, like a translucent layer. Everything that we're seeing here with the green and the white, that's looking like a desert, or like the reflections of water. Everything that we're seeing here is inside. And when I'm flashing my phone, you can see it's moving, but the light glare on the sections inside is not moving. You know, it's so I thought that was really interesting. And you know, I did speed it up ×2. Just learning how to set it up here. Then as on and on, it gets better and better and better. What's going on, Manny Pinochillin? Yeah, man, yo, this is for us. So basically, like, you know, if you guys got a question, what's going on, Quentin? If you guys got a question about like, yo, like, what does distilled water do to your system or to plants, you know, like 10 minutes after you've watered it, or 10 minutes after you've drinking it, you know, I can definitely pull that up. Definitely. Let's see. So what I also thought was really interesting was, like, not only does this look like deserts and, you know, like water reflections, but it kind of looks like a snake belly, you know, like or like a snake skin, or like alligator, something that's like a scale, but not like a scale, like a fish scale, where it's so uniform, but rather kind of like more like a randomized scale. I thought this was very. This looks like a dragon from like Mortal Kombat, upside down, right here. And I thought it was just pretty cool to show, like, you know, the kind of as above, so below. And this is like what I was talking about. This looks exactly like a piece of shedded snake skin. Okay, but it's not. It's the kale, right? So those scales, guys, the scales of truth, the scales of justice. You know what I'm saying? Everything is relative. So now we finally get into the blood. You know, this is something that I've been going crazy with. Like, I mean, I've been asking I've been really asking my people, around everybody that comes through this my little area here. Yo, let me poke your finger. You know. So this is just the minimum zoom right here, just like kind of peeping what's going on. No, this was the two. This is the second stage zoom. So it comes with three lenses here that I just switched between, and then this is the biggest zoom. And what I find interesting about this size is it's particularly tough to get it to focus, but once you do, it's crazy. You're gonna see a mixture of white and red. You know what I mean? Obviously, the white blood cells, they're inert, dead, like dead blood cells. And you know, I know science, man, it's so devious how they play us. They tell us that the white blood cells is, you know, if it's there, that means that you're good. You got a high white blood cell count. That's really good. But I beg to differ. You know what I mean? And I'm not a biologist or a chemist, but I'm gonna beg to differ, simply because you're gonna notice that it's all the white blood cells that are just kind of falling and like kind of going with the flow, whereas the red blood cells are kind of more clumped together, meaning that they have like a magnetic charge, right? And while that's good, it has a magnetic charge. It yeah, it was a ×2 speed, guys. Yeah, it was just ×2. That's what it was. Yeah. What's going on here is you're seeing all these white condom-like looking things. Like, I mean, look at that. They look like condoms. They're just kind of flowing. They're just kind of bumping into each other like they're in a lake. You know what I mean? Just like hoops in water, like in a fish tank, in a play fish tank, and you can see all the red. It's kind of clumped together, right? So bring it back. You can see all the red is kind of being clumped together, and all the white cells are falling and just kind of swimming with the flow of the plasma. Now, what they say is that the white blood cell, a high white blood cell count is good. But why I say it's bad is because, have you ever gotten a canker sore in the inside of your mouth, okay, or your tongue? What happens to that nice pinky red flesh? Oh, wait. Think about it. It goes white, okay? Now that, when it goes white, that means that it is detached from that blood flow, right? It's not receiving any more blood. It's not receiving any more nutrients. So it just kind of goes white and falls kind of off. You pull it off, it doesn't hurt, okay? Even your skin, if you get a hangnail, it's lighter than the rest of your skin because the blood's not flowing to it. Well, that's exactly what's happening here. Now, this is what's scaring me. Now, this is my blood, okay? And like, I mean, I've been on many detoxes, and I watch what I eat, and I don't eat too much from the can anymore. I kind of went on a binge there because I was working on a business, and I kind of had to, like, you know, go on like the canned soup and cheap bread diet once the store, you know, reduces its prices down to like, you know, like 50 cents for a bun. You know, but you know, I've you know, I come from hard times, so I don't mind putting myself in that situation again because I have a goal, right? But so I'm noticing all these things, these like little floaties, these little buggies in my blood, and I'm not liking it, obviously. And I'm wondering, like, what, you know, what it is basically. Like, I know that this looks similar to, like, you know, bacteria. Like, you see like listeria, and you see like things for like salmonella, and you know, all those kinds of things, and they come in those like long white types of strands. And what I'm excited also about doing is like kind of researching what these strands are. You know, is it like the bacillus strands? Yeah. So I'm just kind of getting to know, working my way around. But there is certain things that I do already know right off the bat. And right off the bat, I do know that the blood should have a lot of flow to it, right? It should be very, very flowy. Now this is interesting. I'm gonna pause this video. Oh yeah, I don't even want to. Yeah, okay. So basically, what we were just looking at was my blood before drinking distilled water. I had woken up on this day. I had you know, eaten very minimal the day before, so I was kind of like in a fast, an intermittent fast, and I had recorded this at like say 2 p.m. the following day, and I had not eaten anything up to that point except had I think I had like an orange at 8 a.m. and then I waited all the way to like 2 p.m. to do this, and then after I drank distilled water, then I waited like 10 minutes and just looked at my blood after that. But quickly, what I wanted to share was I looked up that that little weird thing that I found, and I can share it with you guys. So application window. So I was looking at like these like genetic strains, right, of like, you know, viruses and bacteria or whatever, right? You know, see, here's the listeria, and here's that mycobacterium. Now, this kind of looks similar to what was on the screen, and this is definitely this has appeared in my blood as well. This streptococcus, right? It was like a minimal amounts. I saw things that looked like this, but these also look like T cells, so I didn't know what to make of it. It kind of looked like this here on the bottom. I see a lot of like little white blots like this around in all of my family's blood. So I'm gonna be learning up what all this looks like, but what all of it does. But look at this here, guys. Isn't this exactly kind of like looking like what I just showed? If I share the screen, remember that I keep that kind of horse structure in my mind. It kind of looks like a stick figure horse, right? This bifidobacterium. Okay, bifidobacterium. I've always been pretty good at pronouncing like new things, like in like, I don't know, French class and stuff like that. I've always gotten like good in pronunciation, but was never good at like memorizing and freestyling. Like I can never have like a conversation with somebody. All right. It's a goal. Okay, like here, right here. See that little like stick horse structure? And then all these like little like white floaties. Now, once again, I'll say I don't eat meat. You know what I mean? So definitely I don't have these little bacteriums from them. You know what I mean? It's been about 10 years now. Shit, it's been like a decade. Eight, 9. Oh, I forgot. You don't even eat fish? Bro, I said I'm a vegan. Like, what does that mean to you? Oh, bro, sorry. You know, all that crap. So and then this thing here, this black. Now this could be just like a kind of like a bubble forming, like a negative space kind of forming. I was gonna say that, but I see like blood cells kind of see how they kind of like twist up when they get to it. I didn't know what to make of that. I thought it was really weird, to tell you the truth. But it's just interesting seeing like inside of your blood. You know what I mean? Like you think it's just this red stuff that just oozes out of you when you get cut, but it's so complex. You know what I mean? And you know, you see the shows and the cartoons and whatever and the movies, but having it right here, you know, for you to be able to say, "Yo, masterpiece," you know, like next show, can you get this, this, and this? Like we can get like some chocolate, some dark cacao, and then we can get some like moringa, you know what I mean? Or like spirulina, and mix that up with a tea or something like that and drink that down and see what it does. And actually see like the efficacy of, you know, that means like, is it living up to what it's saying? Yeah, the efficacy, you know, is it living up to its name? You know, is it doing, you know, if I take the iron, the moringa, if I take the moringa, is it really providing a charge to an electrical charge to my blood? So now this is after drinking the distilled water, and as you can see, it's a lot quicker flowing, a lot more movement. You know, like this was before here, right? They're kind of just like don't know what to do, no flow. This is after, lots more flow is what I noticed right off the bat. I just kind of get to the okay, after drinking distilled water, and I see a lot more flow, which is what I expected to see, right? You know, once you hydrate yourself, you're giving more hydration to your cells, creating more plasma. Everything can breathe. Everything kind of gets a drink. If you imagine each one of these cells getting a nice big gulp, you know what I mean? Nice refreshing gulp of oxygen, because there should be oxygen in the air. Thanks, Tim Truth, for the awesome footage. Oh, the audio fix? I don't know. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, it's chemtrails. I saw someone say something about the chemtrails in the comment. I wanted to talk on that. A lot of that stuff I feel is, you know, it's just in the air. Like we're inhaling this stuff. And I took some samples of my sister's blood, my daughter's blood even, and I saw like some shardy things, some thready like materials in there. I didn't know what to say. Now check this out over here. Check this squig. Now everything is kind of flowing. What you'll notice is the plasma has a flow, okay, and the blood platelets, that's what they're called, those condom looking things, right? That's what I'm gonna call them, man. The condoms, hemo condoms. They go with the flow of the plasma. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm observing, right? That's a science, right? Observation. But then you see these little black little life forms and little white life forms squiggling back and forth against the flow. You see some anomalies right here. I want to upgrade the camera, so I hope the super chat donations keep on coming in, and I've never asked for that before, but I find myself asking for it right now because I want to upgrade the camera. When I look through the eyepiece, I can see it more crisp, but when I put it to the digital, obviously it kind of gets like pixelized. So yeah, I'm gonna be showing this, and I'm gonna be researching it a lot more. I got a lot more footage left, guys. Don't go anywhere. And I'm hoping to get more super chat donations because I want to upgrade the camera, like, you know, tenfold. I want to see this detail. Someone was talking about sending their blood in. I want to be able to show them.
It's 11 o'clock.
I want to be able to show them a higher detail. What's happening now? I don't know if this is a T cell up here. It looks like a T cell, but it could be like a spore of some kind. All I know is that it's conscious. You know, it's shaking around back and forth. While all the blood cells here are like rather steady. And you can see on the outside, there's these little aberrations here, these little shadow aberrations here. And it's kind of like, you know, are they feeding on the white blood cells? Because they don't do this with the red blood cells. And what I'm thinking is what I'm thinking is that maybe there's a charge. I see them float around the red blood cells and floating around it, but when I watch it, I see with the white blood cells that they're all up in it and like underneath it and stuff like that. I'm wondering if they're like nibbling at it. You know what I mean? If they're just nibbling away at the waste product, the corpuscle that has lost its iron. You know, it goes pale. Like we go pale when we become anemic. You watch cooking shows and they say, the plate looks kind of anemic, right? It lacks color. Now we're going to see some more interesting things. Now, what I really want to do is I want to drink that ionized water and really get some halos going on. Okay, now here we go. This is that strep virus right here, okay? The streptobacillum or something. Let me pull it up, the name. Let me see. Streptococcus, okay? Remember that shape? See how it was kind of like a chain? It's kind of going like in a chain pattern right here. Right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of like a question mark, right? Okay, now kind of like an omega signal right here. Okay, now remember that. Remember what that looks like. And now check this out. Doesn't that look exactly identical? You got those these little balls, little chains, okay? And then you have this here, this staphylococcus. That looks quite like spiky, you know what I mean? Like that other corpuscle that I saw. And then you have these like little black floaties, Kingella kingae. After, you know, that looks like mushroom spores straight up. And mushroom spores, if you guys don't know, that's found in the highest layers of our atmosphere. Mushroom spores. Okay, it's been said, it's been written that the mushroom spores are actually magnetically attracted to the sun, and they rise up into the atmosphere. They float around, and as the sun kind of comes by and swirls around them, just above us. It kind of like slingshots around the sun and gets kind of launched off in a different area, populating a different area, because mushrooms, as you know, are like the brain to this earth, to this geb, to this. It's like the nervous system. Yeah, so there's just like all these strains that are identified, and I'm just trying to get better at identifying them myself. But right here, I know that this has got to be streptococcus. That must be strep throat, you know, the strep. And then this one here kind of looked like that horse one, this mycobacterium, or it could have been this bifidobacterium. Okay, so I don't know yet, but I see the Kingella and the Pantoi agiomerans. Okay, and I'm just guessing here because I'm learning, right? that's what I'm doing. I'm learning here. I don't want to come off as this like guy that just because I have a YouTube channel doesn't mean like I know everything. And that's like one problem is that a lot of people, just because they got a channel, it doesn't mean you can never be wrong. But anyways, like I'm analyzing my own blood, my family's blood, and I think that is for the betterment of everybody. So I'm happy to do it. You know what I mean? I'm more than happy to do it. Flat power, y'all. Flat power. Flat power. So what I want to say to people out there that's maybe having maybe a problem seeing how this could be from meat. Well, like, no, what I'm saying is you obviously increase your chances tenfold of having these bacterial strains in you is because, I mean, when it comes to having something that's antiviral, antiseptic, antimicrobial, antibacterial, and antifungal, you want to make sure that what you're eating actually kind of provides you some of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like oregano, oil of oregano, parsley, turpentine, like things with terpenes in it, you know, cannabis, cannabinoids. But what you have to realize is that if I was to cook these, okay, if I was to cook my flesh, not all of these strains would die out. Now, remember, a lot of people don't like to cook their meat all the way through, right? A lot of people like to have it raw, medium well, medium rare, and so on and so forth. But even beyond that, when you cut meat or when you smash meat on your countertop, all right, you are microscopically putting that blood all over the air. It's getting in your eye. Tattoo artists wear protective goggles, okay, because when they're tattooing, the blood squirts in their eyes and it gets into the tattooist's mucus membrane, okay, and you don't want that. You don't want that getting into your tear ducts. So on a microscopic level, these things are surviving. When you have the pork, we know that, you know, the eggs aren't dying when you cook it out. I did my research, and a lot of these parasites and tapeworms and other types of worms' eggs doesn't get killed until 1300 degrees centigrade, and that's far beyond what our ovens can do. Okay, far beyond it. Okay, so you know these things are very highly adaptive. I mean, if you can have something bigger than this, like cockroaches, survive like radiation, then come on, what are we talking about? Just a little bit of heat, that's nothing to transmute a simple bacterial strain like this. I mean, this has been around. These germs will be around after us. Okay. And you have all these little floaties here that I'm concerned about. You know what I mean? I want to give my organs a detox. I gotta fill up on water, give my organs a detox so my blood can dump this out. As I said, you can't clean your blood in the sense that like you clean your car. You can't go up in your blood and clean it. All you can do is clean that environment so the blood can finally dump this off. Because remember, your blood renews itself every 4 months, people. Look at this long strain right here of something floating around. Ugh, yikes. Okay, now I'm gonna switch it to my daughter's blood. She is a raw vegan, and when I say raw vegan, let me explain. I don't like to boil anything for her. Okay, I don't like to cook this shit out of potatoes and obliterate the peas and smash the peas and then blend them, and you know what I mean. I cook very lightly because when you eat the food, you are cooking the food, okay? In your stomach, you're cooking it down. You're processing the food, okay? So this is like just some footage of my daughter's blood. And this was when she just woke up. And, the first thing that we drink is water in the morning, but she didn't drink any water yet. I wanted to see, what her blood was doing as soon as she woke up. And I was very impressed at how spaced out it is. Do you see this, people? This is what I was talking about when I said that you wanted to keep your body charged with the iron, right? You want it electrical so that you want to eat electrical foods, and electric and magnets go together. Once you have an electric circuit, you create magnetism, and magnetism creates electricity. So they're one in this. They're hand in hand. They can be found together. Now, this was my blood in the morning. Really coagulated, really clumped up, a lot of white blood cells, and this was hers, my daughter's. Let's see here. We're gonna get into a lot, people. It's pretty crazy what I picked up. Okay. Her blood is obviously, like you can see here, it's a lot more spread out. It's a lot more, I guess, charged, like magnetically charged, so that they're repelling each other, right? They can't get too close to each other in all areas. There's a lot of clumps, okay, and this was before the water. But yeah, but once again, yeah, I like the white blood cell count, not too much. I'm not seeing too many white blood cells, but then again, that if you're fasting, right? If you're just waking up, you should have more white blood cells than any other time in the day, because that's when your body's purging, it's stripping it off, right? So we can see that it's pretty still. And all of these lines and streaks, people, that is the glass underneath, okay? I have 2 slides. I have a glass slide underneath and one over top of it, and they're quite like scratched up. They came all the way from China, but it's okay, because you disregard that. It's not flowing. If you don't see it flowing in the plasma, you're fine. So I'm really excited to be Tim Truth. Thank you very much for that donation. You better believe it's going to a better camera, so we can look closer into the blood and see what's really popping. NASA CGI Snakes, thank you also for that. Flat motherfucking power. Yeah, $2 donation there. Thank you very much. Every little bit helps, guys. That's how we got this microscope in the first place, guys, with $2 and $3 donations. Okay, so it just shows what the numbers can do when we come together. Okay, so fire starter, is it fungi or a mucus? Well, mucus is dead, guys, right? A mucus, it's not dead, but it's not living, right? Mucus is not living. Fungus is living, yes. Fire starter, fungi, that's living. But mucus, no, that's just a result of your body. Your body creates mucus, right, to dilute and to slide things through, right? To try to trap things, and you know what I mean. The external patterns in nature probably have better clues for thriving, like the cycle of the seed to the fruit. Yo, I was thinking that I can learn a lot more on this micro scale than I ever could, probably looking up at the stars. You know what I'm saying? You don't really, thank you, Francois. I'm happy I'm live too, man. You don't really, when we look up at the stars, we learn a lot. Don't get me wrong. Hell yeah, we do. But it's just, it doesn't, how can we say it? You see such a small area, I guess. You know what I mean? We look up at just such a small portion of the infinite night sky, right? And so, when I'm looking here, I get to see many universes. You know what I mean? These look like AE, flat Earth AE projection maps from the top. These rings, these circles, these Lord of the Rings, these rings in your blood. Who is the Lord of these rings in your blood? Like I said, these look like condoms. Look at these. Lord of the Rings? What? Lord of the Rings, guys. Everybody's got the halo. They talk about the slaying of the innocents, okay, in the Bible. They're talking about the blood, the sacrifice, the sacrificial lambs. This is the blood sacrificing. The body sacrificing itself to preserve the blood. Remember, your blood can only fluctuate within a 2 to 3 pH range, right? So everything you eat, alkaline, acidic, everything has to be compensated for by the blood, and that is as above, so below, as attested to by the rhythm, by the law of rhythm. Okay, the law of rhythm, the Hermetic law of rhythm, the universal law, in fact. So let me get to some of these questions, because you guys are actually doing it. Okay, Faux Life, you want me to try drinking it after sea moss? Okay, let me write that down, because I have some sea moss in my cupboard. Actually, I have some Dr. Sebi. Let me just show you guys that I'm not fronting, because, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is, guys, but like a lot of people, they come on to YouTube and they get a career, quote unquote, and I don't know. It just seems like a lot of people are, they end up getting called out for stuff, and it's just like, yo, you shouldn't have came on YouTube if you got stuff to hide. So here, guys, is what the hell? Come on. Hangouts doesn't detect a camera. Connect to your computer without a camera. Is it because my camera? Huh. Goddamn. That sucks. Talking all this shit like, yo, I'm gonna prove I got Dr. Sebi products, and then the one time I want to share my screen with my camera, this thing bugs out like this. Now I can't even get back. Okay. All right. Well, sorry about that, guys. I'll just continue on. I'll just go back to the cellular screen. But yeah, you want me to, yeah, you want me to share it after drinking. Let me write that down. Show blood after drinking sea moss. I got sea moss and I have Dr. Sebi's. Dr. Sebi. Drink Dr. Sebi's. Bladder rack, and sea moss. It absolutely tastes disgusting. But I mean, hey, what are you gonna do, right? You have to suffer. You have to suffer to heal. You don't have to get cut open, but you do have to suffer. There is no pleasant healing. There's no way to take 40, 50 years, 20 years even of ignoring Mother Nature and thinking that you're gonna be able to just detox and not have any pain, not have any hard times. Okay, guys, now look at this. Check this out, guys. And this is like that chemtrail shit. If it's not that, then it must be like a strand from like a potato or something. I've never given my daughter anything from a can. I've never given her anything with like from like a foil. So I don't really know what I'm looking at, people, but I know it's inert, you know, at least for now, meaning like it's lifeless, at least for now. Maybe it's something that she breathed in that'll gain a robotic consciousness or something. But yeah, we were talking about Lord of the Rings, right? Lord of the Rings. Who is the Lord of your rings? Are you the Lord of your rings? Of your blood platelets? Or somebody else? Is it Kraft? Or is it, I don't know, you know, is it Del Monte? Who's the Lord of your rings? Look at that. This is me just moving it around, so they're swimming around, of course. But and to answer Tim Truth's question, thank you for that super chat donation, much appreciated. Do blood cells, bacteria swim? Blood cells do not swim. Bacteria do swim. Blood cells are pumped through the body, and it's produced. That pumping is produced by the lungs. Okay, in and out, in and out. Okay, and you're giving the air, and you're exciting, and you're stimulating the blood, and you're giving oxygen to the blood, and and hydrogen, and your plasma is being created and it's floating through. This is what I'm talking about. I'll pause it right here. But the bacteria is definitely swimming. You can see their little legs and their little arms swimming across your plasma, you know, positioning themselves, eating other things. It's great. I mean, it's great to watch, but it's absolutely disturbing to see. Eyes open finally. Peace and love. I think you guys, I got all your emails, by the way, and as you can tell, I've been answering some of them, but I haven't gotten to all of them. So if you sent me one recently, like in the past week, then just hold on, because I'm still trying to clear out ones from like a couple weeks to a month ago. Let's see if I'm getting all this. You turned off Tariq Nasheed's stream for this, Tori Povik. I realize he's a Freemason and he helps divide and conquer routine. Yeah, look, guys, when we look at the Black conscious community, we got to understand that is a Freemasonically ran crew, you know what I mean? And everybody that they bring up, they're trying to rise through their ranks, okay? If you've ever done multi-level marketing where you got to go sell something, it's the same thing, you know? You got to learn, you got to one day do your presentation, and then you got to recruit 2 or 3 people, then they got to do their presentations, and you know, you move up through the ranks, you know what I mean? So that's all it is. You got to come to like real channels, guys, like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I just don't know how much easier to say that. I'm just so dedicated to what I'm doing. I'm dedicated to healing people, not me physically, but, you know, just giving the people the tools that they need to heal themselves. Yeah, so I think I have this going in, this is in double speed right here. This is in double speed. I wanted to do it in double speed to just kind of show you guys when you agitate it, kind of show you guys what it resembles flowing through your bloodstream. Because, you know, they always show us those animations with the blood flowing through, and you're like, really? Like, is it really like that separated? And is it really like, you know, trickling through the veins like that? Like, my veins look like very expanded, but now I'm seeing that it's the plasma, and the more plasma you got, the worse, right? Because that means the more dilution is having to create. Understand me here, people. The more blood plasma you have, the more diluted your blood is, meaning the less nutrients is going through. If you have a juice, right, like a berry juice, and then you dilute it with water, what happens? It turns lighter and the taste is off. And you're like, oh, you watered it down too much. Now I know in the hood, that's what we do. We take the Minute Maid, we open up that like top little strap, you know, wait for it to unthaw. We squeeze out, you know what I mean? We squeeze it out of the fridge, those little Minute Maid things, juices, and we squeeze it in the bucket and we add water. But like, you know, if you can't just be buying those all the time, you got to add a lot more water, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and ice. You know, so you're watering it down, so it's not as potent. So if you only have 100 pieces of fruit pectin in that orange juice, and you add, you know, 2 liters as opposed to a half a liter, now the parts per million has just gone down. If you look at your water and it says like 0 parts per million, that's what we're talking about here. So we want our blood to be repelled and far apart from each other. But we also want it to be thick, right? We don't want a lot of plasma. We don't want a lot of white blood cells, and we definitely don't want a lot of floaties, like, you know, those little squiggly things going against the grain. So what's going on? Flat power to everybody, man. We're learning on this plane, and I'm learning so much, guys. I'm learning so much about the human body. Let's see. I love this knowledge, man. You freaked my girl on the second, third. Yes. Okay. Eyes Open finally says that she loves the knowledge, or she or he, I'm sorry, love the knowledge. I freaked his girl out on the second, third green stream. She made homemade black bean burgers. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, now I don't know what you use to stick it together, but if you're using, you know, applesauce, that's great. If you're using like a flax egg, that's great. But one thing that I found really helps to hydrate it is like brown lentils and mushroom. If you chop up the mushroom into like fine bits, and then you partially cook them, like you just kind of like flash them on the pan, make sure they keep that rubberiness, and that'll like mimic the rubberiness and the bounce back of the fattiness of the meat, you know, if you want to mimic that. Yo, P Dot, it is fun, man. This is really fun, and it's really great for our whole family, right? Like my dad, for example, he's really arrogant, and he believes that his like full meat and cheese diet is the way to go, and he's fine. And you know, he embraces the fruits and the vegetables. He, you know, he is from Jamaica and stuff like that. But the thing is that you know, like what he knows that my end goal for him is to make him vegan. You know, that's his goal. That's my end goal for him. And whenever I try to inch him towards like eating healthier, he just thinks I'm trying to get him to go vegan. So he's kind of like a contrarian, right? Anything I say, he goes against it. So I want to look at his blood. He's kind of reluctant to give it to me. Maybe I gotta like poke his finger in the middle of the night and just playing. But I want to show him his blood, and I want to show you guys his blood and what the blood is like on a mostly meat-based diet. Now, this is what I was talking about, people. This like weird straw here. What is this? To me, honestly, it looks like a vanilla bean. Where it at? It looks like a vanilla bean to me. Okay, but I know it's not a vanilla bean. And I looked at the blood like on the slide. Like I took my eyes out of the microscope and I said, okay, let me see if I can actually see this. Maybe it's a hair, you know, that got cut up. But no, this was inside my daughter. Now maybe this is the end of a vein. You know, maybe this is a capillary that I severed or something. You know, I don't know what I'm looking at. But it's got like a cool hue to it. Like it's not red. It's not warm and red. It's cool. It's like it's black and blue. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, okay, well, black and blue, that's kind of like, you know, steel. You know what I mean? Like a metal or like a hair. Is it hair? Could it be hair? That's possible. It's possible that it's a nose hair that that she had swallowed down, maybe from like a hork or something, right? Like, or maybe it's just a particle from these goddamn chemtrails. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Maybe it's a leg, maybe like a beetle leg. Maybe like it flew in her nose. I don't know. But I was quite concerned because it looks rather big. I mean, if you look at like the blood cells, I don't know how the hell that's fitting through her veins. So that was, you know, as a dad, I was concerned, you know what I mean? And as parents, I think that we should all have this. You know what I mean? We don't have to always rely on our doctors. Masterpiece, I'm healthy, no cigs, just bud. I want to fast. Should I do intermittent fasting first, then go on a water fast? Well, you should watch well, you were there for my last stream. Fill up on water, okay? Fill your body up with water. Basically, like dilute your body with water. So you're not going to get a toxic overload. You're not going to get headaches. You're not going to get cramps. It's just going to be like the most pleasant that you can have it. If you want to like do an enema, that would be great too. But yeah, fast. You can dry fast. You can water fast. But look at that last stream, and basically it just tells you fill up on water and then go on a fast. And then once you do that 1 day fast, do an enema, right? Because your body has just excreted so much stuff and put it into your bowels. And if you go back to like what you're regularly eating, you might not poo it out, right? So you want to definitely get an enema if you can, and surround that fast. Like when you go back into the eating, go back into what you were eating, but maybe add like a nice big kale salad, and don't chew the kale thoroughly. You know what I mean? Leave the kale big and let that move through your system. And also like I'll chew it up really fine. I like to chew a lot of my kale up very fine, and I like to just swallow very like whole and intact. Let my body do it. Can we talk about the 12 vortices one day? If we're talking about the 12 vortices on the earth, that would be great. I would even say that there's more than 12. If we're talking about in the sky, we could talk about that too one day for sure. Flat Earth Trini wants to know. Let me get you right here. And that was the end, but I'll leave it streaming for you guys because I find it so fascinating. I'll kick it right back from the kale. I mean, just look how amazing like life is, right? I mean, look at that kind of like trifecta. And of course, we see that all over sacred geometry, right? With the triangle going up this way, like the bend sign. And then if you look here at this corner, right up above this axis, and then in this corner right up above this axis we see like a meeting ground, right? Another nexus, right? So that would be like your other upside down triangle, right? Like, so that's your Merkaba, like Merkabas within Merkabas, just mercs on mercs on mercs all up in this mother. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Flat Earth Trini. It would be cool to see, like, learn about the melanin and how it reacts to the sunlight. Except, to look at the melanin, you would need a much deeper microscope. This is like this is a biological microscope. This is made for seeing like cells. What you would need is like an electron microscope, and that is like in the tens of thousands. They make you pay for it. They make you pay for it. I'm definitely gonna get myself a microscope. Hey, what's good, y'all? What's going on, Vogel? Good to see you. 12 vortices, 12 disciples, and then then they try to throw us off with the whole 13th disciple thing and 13th zodiac, right? Francois, she ether, peace, much love. Question everything's love. Intermittent fasting is awesome. Yeah, and hey, yeah, also, yeah, don't let me discourage you from that too. She's absolutely right. Like, intermittent fast all the time. You know what I mean? Like, you can do it like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, where you don't eat until 4 p.m. Until 3 p.m. and then you eat from 3 to 4, and then that's it. And then you go to bed. You know what I mean? Eat a nice big salad. Try not to make it have too many ingredients. You want to eat simple. You know what I mean? That we have to get back to mono diets as human beings. We got to get back to the mono diets, to filling our plate up with just lettuce, and then filling our plate up with just quinoa, and then just parsley, just tomatoes, and eating that one at a time, letting that digest, going to the apples, let that digest. You know what I mean? If you mix too many ingredients at once, your body will throw it up. Francois, about to be on my 4th day water fast, feeling pretty good, better than yesterday. I want to see my blood. Yeah. After the fasting, you want to see it. After I did the last green stream, y'all, I did an enema, man. I went on a little fast, an enema. I did 2 enemas back to back. I was on the toilet for like an hour and 20 minutes, just getting some of that old waste out of me. You know what I mean? The water was so murky, I couldn't even tell what was inside. Not to gross you guys out, but just to let you know, like, hey, think about this, okay? If I go to the bathroom once a day, and people out there in the chat, that a lot of y'all are not going once a day, not even, right? But if I go once a day, which we should be going after every meal, put it this way, guys. When you put in food, it should, in your stomach, it should put pressure on your colon to push out your other meal. So right, a bowl full of apples. Yum, 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 yum. That's 10 a.m. And then at 2 p.m., you eat a bowl full of kale. Well, that kale should make you go to the bathroom right after, but you're not pooing out the kale, you're pooing out the apple. And then you eat squash for dinner. And then you go to the bathroom after that. That squash is pushing out the kale. And then you wake up, you have a nice bowel movement of the squash, and then you drink water, and then you eat an apple. And then you wait, and then you have kale. And then that kale shits out the apple. And then you eat the squash for dinner. And then that squash forces out the kale. So it's like a cycle like that. And that's how animals do it. When they're eating, they're pooing. When animals are eating, animals are pooing. Okay? I'll just leave it at that. Think about that. Okay, eyes open finally. Says peace. She's talking to somebody else, but she says I'm on a fast, intermittent fast. I need this for my mom. I need this. My mom passed from cancer. My brother got heart issues. Scary shit. Yeah, yo. And men are more reluctant to change than women. Did you know that women visit the doctor like 70% more than men? It's just ridiculous. And here on the screen again, you guys, you can see that like horse strain, that strepto, whatever it was. What is it here? That it's either the bifidobacterium or the mycobacterium. And just by like the kind of like the thinness, I'm thinking it's the mycobacterium of it. But yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, if you guys, a lot of people say, oh, I have genetic, my mom just tried to say that excuse. Yeah, it's hereditary, it's genetic, my mom had it. No, you had the same cookbook as your mom had the same cookbook as her mom had the same. It's all the family recipes. We gotta, hey, she ether, thank you very much for that donation. Made bananas with cinnamon and maple syrup today. Damn, that sounds good. That's one of my favorites because I said that on last night's stream. Damn. How did you like it? Be honest. Type it in the chat. She ether. How did you like it? It was nice and soft, wasn't it? Yum, yum, yum. Did it caramelize up and get crispy on the edges? Damn. Yeah, guys, a lot of people say, oh, it's hereditary, but no, what do we say? Just like mom used to make, right? But if your grandma died of a heart attack and your meatloaf is just like mom used to make, and your mom is taking pills for her heart condition, and you're scared that it's hereditary, but you're steady trying to learn her recipes. Well, don't you know that you're just continuing it on? You don't have to do that, guys. You don't have to do that. Francois, I have to write this down. Francois says, hold on. Masterpiece. You should try to take chlorophyll and see what happens to your blood. Water might be real interesting. So chlorophyll. I don't have any more of that. And of course, the only chlorophyll that I take is liquid chlorophyll, because if it's dry, it loses a lot of the properties. Joey Silv, peace and love, brother. Peace. I'm glad that you got up here. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Yo, you guys, cancer runs in my family. Diabetes. It doesn't run in the family. What runs in the family is the recipes. Who doesn't make their oxtail like their grandma's grandma? And you know, I'm biased because I'm Jamaican, you know what I mean? So I don't know. And you know, it's got Scottish in me too. So, you know, I'll say things like shepherd's pie and stuff like that. But who doesn't have burritos with pork and lamb burritos and fish tacos, and you know what I mean, and enchiladas with who knows what in it, you know what I mean? Just the and the chorizo. Oh man, that's got to be one of the worst thing. The cured meat's got to be one of the worst thing, because it's cured with salt. So you're preserving these bacterial strains with salt, and it's making it taste way, quote unquote, better than it needs to. So yeah, man. Joey Sill says he intermittent fasts daily. Yeah, man, you got to be doing that. When you wake up, don't go right to the food. Drink that water. Then you're gonna say, "Hey, I'm really not that hungry," and then you can go longer. And then you realize you never got to eat till like 1, 2, 3, sometimes even longer. Flat Earth Trinity, intermittently means what? Like no breakfast? No, that's not true. No, you can eat breakfast, right? You wake up in the morning, have your water is what I recommend, and then you have your breakfast. Hopefully, it's something light, not like your typical English breakfast, which is like sausage, eggs, and like some sort of like hash brown and toast. But like if you have like berries and like, you know what I mean, maybe even like cereal, you know what I mean? I'm not going to hate on cereal because, hey, you know, in North America, we consume, you know, first, the number one consumers of cereal, look this up, is the UK. Okay. Number 2 is Canada. Number 3 is the United States. Okay. And I've been to the United States. You guys ain't got nothing on our cereals. You come to our cereal aisles, we got like whole aisles, plural, dedicated to cereal, healthy ones, hot cereals, all different types of cereals. Number 2 consumer in the world, and it's really bad because there's a lot of gluten and a lot of starch in those cereals, guys. So you know, and what's worse is that we're mixing it with the milk, right? Like the almond milk and even animal milk, right? So what you want to do is when you take that bite of the cereal, because it's so much like milky substance in it, you want to drink that back right away, not really chewing it down enough, right? Not doing this so it doesn't get broken down enough. Let's see. What if Antarctica is part of another world and they hiding this magic or magnets or nets? What if a whirlpool is what they say is like a whirlpool, one in the sky? Well, I've been looking at a lot of information because I'm very open-minded. I'd like to say, if I don't say so myself. Um, and they were talking about how Antarctica is like this massive continent that it kind of backs on to another huge crater site, and their water is spilling over into our crater site, and that we actually live on like a much bigger Earth, and our flat Earth is only but a little crater in that huge ball. It's like a golf ball, and in the little dent, the one little dimple of the golf ball is our whole Earth and dome. And that's just one aspect. And they say that the moon is a reflection. It goes deep, but who knows, right? This is about health right now. Okay, let's see. Joey Sylvie, what a piece, 100. Yeah, don't break your fast at breakfast. Yeah. Yeah, so what I was saying about the intermittent fasting, to flat earth training, you can wake up and have your breakfast, right? A nice light breakfast, and then you can fast for the next 8 hours. You know what I mean? You don't have to have anything else until 7 p.m. Then you can eat like a nice salad and then eat and then go to bed. You know what I mean? So intermittent fasting means, because they say you need 3 square meals a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and little snacks in between to hold you over. But that's just not right. That's too much food, and we're consuming so much food that we actually throw out more food here than other countries consume. So that's pretty crazy. Much people, we're backed up. We're full of shit. Have you ever talked to someone and they just don't know what they're talking about and they won't listen to reason? Give them an enema bag. Okay. Um, let's see. I'm kind of getting to you guys' questions. I'm really loving this. I'm really loving these talks, you guys, with you guys. I feel like you guys are my family. I feel like I can really open up to you guys where I'm from, or at least, the crew that I grew up with, can never talk about this stuff. It's like, nigga, when are you gonna get the next bag? You know what I'm saying? Let's run a flex. You know what I'm saying? Like when's, what I'm saying? You gotta see about the next shelter. You gotta hop town, and like what sports and what games. And it's just like, yo, I'm past that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just past that, I feel. Anyways, everything's love. Thank you so much. Much love. I love these talks. I made meatless stuffed bell peppers yesterday, and it was delicious. Thanks for the motivation, brother. Peace and love to you. What did you use? Did you use mushrooms chopped up? Did you use quinoa? Did you use lentils, or a mixture of all three? Ooh, lentils, quinoa, and mushrooms. That's really nice. With a little bit of smoked spice and a little bit of cumin. You're rocking and rolling now. Maybe with a little bit of Montreal steak spice. You're killing it, right? Um, yeah. Yo, backyard sweet purple potatoes. Yo, I've been seeing that. Everything Slove's got a poppin' in her garden. Yo, I want to go eat from her garden. No, I didn't mean that like, sexually or anything. You like go check out her videos. They're really good. It looks like good food, healthy food. It looks healthy stuff. My bad. She ether. You eat way late in the day. A lot of people, they say that, what is it better to eat in the daytime or when the sun goes down? And there's a lot of people that eat when the sun goes down. Like a lot of Arabs, they fast in the daytime and they eat when the sun goes down for their month-long fast. And there's people out there that believe that it's better to do that. But I don't believe that, actually. I don't think it's good to eat after the sun goes down, even though I do it all the time. I sleepwalk, okay? And I catch myself with a jar of peanut butter. I'm in the middle of the night, I'm downstairs, and I have peanut butter and I have bread. And it's been to the point where I'm so out of it, and I'm eating that bread and peanut butter on the way back to my bed, and I'm eating it in my bed, and sometimes I've fallen asleep with the peanut butter sandwich on my chest. Do you know how horrible that is for you, for your digestion? And if you're laughing your ass off right now at that story, that's like personal, right? Like I haven't obviously, like that's personal, right? I've never done that. Peace, Huey P. Nuisance. Much love to you, brother. But that's happened to me before, and that's not me, y'all. That is the bacteria. That is the hookworms. Those little bacteria in there. That's them telling me what they need. They need those starches to survive. We don't need those starches to survive. That's them. They need that. And once they look at this, y'all. Let me show you something. Once these little guys here, right? Once these little freaking parasites here, that freaking, let me see here, that try to like get all up in your blood, all up in your digestive tract. This right here, these guys poo. Okay, they excrete. Okay, they eat up stuff and they excrete. Okay, little metabolic debris that you shut off from your cells. They eat that up and they love that acidity. They love that They love that waste, okay? And they will do anything they can do to get you guys to keep on eating that. Look at this thing up in the corner. I don't know what that is. See how it's moving on its own volition? It's not like that. It's like shaking. It's not like the other cells, right? That looks like a T cell to me. It looks like a T cell. But if it's not, if that's some sort of spore or bacterium, then wow, you know what I'm saying? That's big. That rivals my blood. So, you know, I can't kill these guys. All I got to do is I got to change my bodily environment, because I've been getting off of it. You know, the weather's getting cold here in Canada. The fresh fruits are going down. Everything is just, you know, you just don't even want to do anything. You're so lethargic. You're not getting that vitamin D. I'm not out there running around and getting up in the trees. I'm not playing with my daughter outside. It's just, you don't want to do anything. And that's why we're not supposed to be here. And that's why I don't believe that the Native Americans lived here when it was like this. I don't believe that snow is old. I don't think that there's been snow here forever. Like we have, this is new. You know, you can't tell me that people have been living up in this. Nah, you're not getting anything done in this cold, yo. I'm sorry. You're not. Flat Earth Trinity. So the more you poop, the healthier your digestive system is. I have to say to you emphatically, yes, brother. I hope you're listening to this. The more you poop, the healthier your digestive system is. That's like saying, you know, the more, that's like saying, so wait, the more you clean your dishwasher, the cleaner your dishes will be. Yes, because you're actually cleaning the thing that cleans your dishes, right? If the filter of your dishwasher is dirty, right, then you're always going to be cycling through dirty water from the dishwasher, right? And so you don't want that, right? So that's the science on that. Let me maybe I should cut my camera on and say what's up for real to you guys. Yes, so keep your digestive system moving. Remember, there's no fiber in meat and dairy and cheese and eggs. So you want real fiber. You want the apple. Eat 2 apples a day. Eat 2 and lots of water, and you're going to see a big difference. We should be pooing at least 3 times a day, right? Well, that's because they say we should be eating 3 square meals a day. But if you're only eating once a day, then you only need to do 1 bowel movement. But the thing is that we're not having full bowel movements. You're supposed to poo out the net weight of everything that you took in. And that is how you know that food is not the #1 thing that should be keeping us alive. And that is how you know that food is actually a deteriorator of our health. Because as soon as you stop fasting, you get better. As soon as you start fasting, you get better. And then as soon as you eat any lemon or there's always some sort of, and there's always something that is not coming out of you, that is getting stuck in your colon, right? And any foreign objects in your body that's not supposed to be there is going to create mucus, guys. She ether, I'm glad it was delicious. It sounds delicious. It sounds yummy. You know what I mean? I do it all the time. Sometimes I put some dark chocolate chips with that, you know, vegan. She ether, what are my thoughts on coffee enemas? I think it's something good to do for like a first time go around, you know what I mean? Or like it's definitely something good to stimulate yourself, but it's not something that you want to do all the time, right? It's like something that is like you want to sparingly do that, because it's going to really, really stimulate you. If drinking a coffee gets you jittery in the morning, think about what it's going to do when it goes straight past the liver and into your colon. You're going to be like buzzing. I do it with water and I'm already buzzing. The coffee enema is great because it's going to like kind of squeeze everything out, but there's just like there's less harmful ways, you know what I mean? And if you're really unhealthy and you have a lot of toxins to squeeze out, then it might be too much too soon. So you might want to save the coffee enema until like maybe your 3rd, 4th enema. But I mean, a lot of people do it on their first enema and are fine. So everybody's different, you know what I mean? Just follow your intuition, follow your gut, your God feeling, right? Follow that. But I like water. I just like warm water. I think it's great. Maybe some lemon oil or grapefruit oil mixed in with the enema. Parasites, Aquarius, Colorado. Parasites, best detox for parasites. Well, there's things like black walnut seed, you know what I mean? There's all these things that kill parasites and their eggs. But the thing is that I wouldn't want, like we're looking at the blood here, right? We're looking at our blood on a microscopic level. I wouldn't want to see like a dead virus here, or I mean a dead bacteria here. Personally, I would want to see it alive, because if it's alive, that means I can flush it out. That means it can swim out of me. If I kill that parasite, then it could get caught up in like a crevice somewhere, and that could just rot, and I'll just have like a bacteria strain just like rotting in my body, and I don't really want that. So I go through the gentle approach, right? Thou shalt not kill, right? That approach. I like to get them out of my body through the poop chute. You know what I mean? The butt. You know what I mean? The pooing. You know, you want to poo it out, and you want to pee it out. And that's just how I feel. Chief Mike, what do you advise for a cleaning and detox? Well, I suggest you watch my last the stream just before last. It was on the transition diet, and my next stream on Thursday is going to be about detoxing, and it's going to have fasting in there, and we're just going to go over the science of what your body's doing and when is best to do it. It's not going to be complicating, very easy to follow. But what I advise best for cleaning, you want to get your citrus stuff, right? The citrus fruits are great, the grapefruits, the lemons, the oranges, and the limes. And then also for the cleaning, you want enema. You have to enema. If you want to Google closest enema center or colon cleanse, that's what you need to do, and get cleaned out. And then for a detox, you just want to drink a lot of water and maybe a lot of like teas for the organs, like kidney teas, a liver tea, a detox tea, a lung tea. You know what I mean? When you get the lungs and the liver clean, everything else kind of trickles and follows. So let's see here. Everything's love. Chopped onions, bell peppers, black beans, brown rice, seasonings, diced tomatoes, fresh parsley, lemon juice. Yep, that sounds like a good, nice stuffed bell pepper. Yeah, I would have liked to join you on that meal. Damn, you got my mouth watering, which doesn't happen with meat. Has anybody driven by a farm out there? Has anybody driven by a farm? Has anybody seen all the cows in the pasture or the sheep? Now, has anybody ever like salivated and had to like lick their lips or like catch their drool? Or has anybody been out like in the street or at their grandma's yard or something, and they're watching like a squirrel run by or like a bird? And does anybody get like a twitch and you just kind of like get into like pounce mode, and like you start salivating and you have to start licking your lips? No? Yeah, me neither. You know why? That's because we're not carnivores or omnivores, and we don't. Our body doesn't recognize animals as food, so we don't start to salivate. We don't work our saliva glands. We only work that when we see carbs, and carbs are berries, melons, apples. All fruits and veg are carbs because it has more carbohydrates than anything. It's fuel. It's our fuel. So that's an interesting thing. Ask that to anybody. Do you ever, when you look at a dog, do you start salivating? Has anybody seen those like glitches, like those matrix glitches in reality, like of like the dogs just like standing still, like with one leg up, and like they don't move until like they're like just still for like a minute, and then the person with the camera goes up and like touches their head, and then they start like moving again. Ah, it's weird. Francois Massa, that's exactly why I moved to Alaska, from Alaska to Arizona just 4 months ago. Hopefully you can make a similar move, so long as it's right within your conscience. Brother, it's definitely right within my conscience. This is a thing. Canada has great healthcare, right? And I'm not worried about the healthcare because like I'm a healthy person, and I don't really care about the government and their offerings and what they want to give us, because you know what I'm saying, like screw that, right? But what I'm saying is, if you leave here for 6 months, And I just found this real hassle to go get your papers all signed up. Why did you leave? Why were you out of the country for that long? Well, what were you doing? Why would you ever go? Who goes to Africa for 6 months? Oh, I see you went to Zimbabwe and Mozambique. Oh, why did you go there for it? Look, I'm not you know what I'm saying? Like the questions. It's like, yo, eliminate passports and let me go wherever the frig I want. And that's the control system, basically, right? The Lord of the Rings, right? And so yeah, so my desire is to move my juicing company and my art, and like, you know, just teaching kids art and dance and music and just anything I can sports wise. You know, I was a long distance runner, basketball, volleyball, soccer, track and field. Won first place in most things until I got up to high school. Long distance runner, I was right up there with the bunny. That would lead out the track, the guy that ran. You know, I could have went pro for sure, but you know, the friends that I had around me, you know what I mean, they smoked and drank and partied and skipped school, and I just kind of fell into that crowd, and you know the typical story, basketball diary type shit, except without the crack and the male stalls, if you know what I'm saying. Great movie though. Um, Tori Bravo, my bro don't have any kidneys. What can he do best until he gets one? Well, it's impossible to not have a kidney unless it's like you have like a mechanical kidney. If you have like a kidney filtering the blood for you, but and all that uric acid, but you need at least one kidney, and maybe you can donate if it's your actual brother if you're a match, but if it's just like your bro, like your boy, then maybe you're not a match. But yeah, I would definitely donate a kidney to my brother. um what can he do best until he gets one? Well, what he can do best is definitely he won't want to hear it, you know what I mean? You want to basically go raw vegan. If you don't have kidneys and you don't have kidneys to filter out the processed oil, the uric acid that's created from the meat, and all the testosterone and all the adrenaline, you know what I mean? So definitely he should be a raw vegan, you know what I mean? But like a hardcore, you know, I would suggest a lot of parsley, but a parsley is for like cleaning out kidneys. But if he doesn't have any, you know what I mean? Like I said, he must have a mechanical one. Um, so, you know, he must have I was trying to see if you replied. He must have a mechanical kidney or something like that. So just answer my question, and I can go further. Um, yeah, an apple a day is great, you know, and it's great for your teeth too. It really gets up there in your gums. And if you're bleeding from eating apples, and if you have sore gums, then you might have gingivitis. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be bleeding when you eat apples. Um, at hour mark, that's water liquid. At hour mark, at an hour mark. Let's see, an hour mark. These are minutes. There is no hour mark. Or the hour mark on the stream, you might be talking. Let me see. Hour mark on the stream. Let's see. Hour mark on the stream is... Or was that an hour ago? Let's see, an hour mark. Here we go. Oh, okay. That black little blob. Yeah, that'd be nice to say. That's what I thought it was. That's why I thought it was bending around. I thought it was just like a... But it watermark on top of the nose. It bends around it. You know, it moves around it. So it must be like an air bubble forming. But it doesn't matter. I'm going on a cleanse anyways, man. I gotta get this. I gotta purify my blood. Question everything Slav says, masterpiece. I found that too much fiber can constipate as well. Yeah, for sure. That's why prunes and apricots are necessary in your kitchen. Oh yeah. Too much fiber. Prunes and apricots are like concentrated fiber, right? So you need a lot of water around that. The fiber is going to absorb a lot of stuff along with it. It's like a broom, you know. It's going to catch it and sweep it out with it. So it's easy to get clogged up out of water, and that's why flax seeds and chia seeds are also really great to take with high fiber foods. Now the thing is that your body is so amazing. If you're constipated, like seriously constipated, and you might have diarrhea, and then you have diarrhea, then you go to the doctor and you say, "Oh, I have diarrhea," and they say, "Here, take this antibiotic," and then you just end up killing yourself faster, because you know why? What your body actually did was it marshaled water from organ stores, fat stores, your bones and stuff like that, and it alkalized it, and it created a buffer system so that it could actually dilute your colon enough to poo that out. If you have that colon just sitting there like a brick, your colon needs to expand and contract. You could get serious cramps if you have like a dry piece of poo just sitting in your colon corners, and you're bending and you're going out your day and you have this huge cramp because you didn't drink enough water. So your body's going to pull the water from somewhere, believe it, and it's going to put it into your colon, and it's going to make you like jet it out. And then you might think it's because you're sick, but no, it might be because you have been dehydrated. So please, people, make sure you are drinking enough water, and tap water sometimes dehydrates too. Okay, because like I said, the body has to buffer the acidic contents, and if you have
It's 12 o'clock.
and if you have all this lead and stuff in your water and all these other carcinogens, then your body is going to be taking water from its body to buffer it, because it says, hey, that's too toxic. Okay. I love prunes, by the way. My child loves prunes too. She ether, masterpiece. I've been doing enemas almost 20 years. Hey, there you go. Your insides must be very well and be very good. And you know what? I don't want to be crude and put anybody on the spot or make anybody blush. But it is talking about health here. And if you were a woman and coming to see a doctor and coming to see me about your vagina, you would have to trust. You'd have to have a discussion about that. But when as a woman, if you're enemaing, if you're taking enemas, and if you're eating the parsley and drinking a lot of water and not eating a lot of dairy and those things that what happens to milk and yogurt when it goes old, that sour smell, you know what I mean? You can tell when someone ate a yogurt in the morning and they come to work with yogurt breath. Yikes. Or you greet a child and from a household that doesn't believe in veganism, and their child's breath smells like straight sour dairy. Yikes. Well, imagine what that's doing inside of you, right? And so for ladies, there's a lot of things that you can do, like hydrogen peroxide with water on a tampon, and you put that tampon with the hydrogen peroxide and say some lavender oil, and you put that inside of your vagina. That is going to let it breathe and everything like that, and it's going to return the ecology back to like a good pH. Also, obviously, the melon and the pineapple and stuff like that. So if you're doing constant enemas, then I'm guessing that your odor is very pleasant. You know what I mean? Because we have to be real, ladies out there. The diet, I'm trying to put this delicately, because it's very embarrassing. When you go down on a man, if that's your thing, and I like to shower. I like to be clean before intimacy. You know what I'm saying? I like to shower before intimacy, and I don't like to just like you're at a party and you make a girl go down. You know what I mean? Like in college, I was always cautious of that, because I personally, I was self-conscious about my smell. I didn't want to be dancing at a club and then go back and then she goes down and it's like, oh, well, it smells bad. Well, yeah, I was just dancing for like 12 straight hours. You know what I mean? So I'm always mindful about that. And so I just know how it would feel, I guess. And so for the woman, like if you're going down on your man and tell him if it smells bad, and then men also, if you're going down on your woman, I had to do this. I've had to do this. Had this talk with my woman. Just say, hey, you know what? I think we got to work on your inner pH, because like I can tell in our intimate times, it's been better. You could say, you know what I mean? And you get that minerally smell, that oystery kind of fishy smell, because it's like minerals. Remember, The ocean doesn't smell like fish. Fish smell like the ocean. Okay, seaweed, even moringa and high like chlorella, high mineral stuff. It kind of smells a little fishy and tastes a little bit fishy, right? So just ladies out there, just knowing by taking enemas regularly and drinking lots of water, you can definitely fix your inside inner pH, and your man might have a lot more pleasure down there and stay down there a lot longer. Stephen A. Harris says, Masterpiece, what do you do for omega-3? Well, my friend, omega-3 comes in many forms. Hemp seeds is a very good form because it's the most balanced form and the most balanced ratio with 369s. So I don't even have to really recommend anything else. That's how good it is. But if you want something else, flaxseed has a tremendous amounts of omegas. All the seeds in life have omegas, right? Because it's a fatty acid, right? They're fatty acids, and these fatty acids are found only in certain things, and they want to tell you to go to cod liver oil. And stuff like that. So you want me to take a life just so I can have a little bit of omega-3 when I can just go to a flax seed? Really? You want me to get out of here with that? I'm not paying no money to tell the people that I want more death, more murder, just so I can have my omega-3s. How do the cows get their omega-3s? How do snakes get their omega-3s? How do gorillas get their omega-3s? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to count nutrients. You don't have to count anything. Your kale, some sort of seeds. Like if you're eating your apples with the seeds, you're good. Because if you're chewing up the seeds, you're letting that oil release, that essential oil release, right? And then you pick up the oils from there. It's simple as that. A lot of people try to go crazy. But what about B12? I'm deficient in this. Well, how do you know you're deficient? Did you get a blood test before you went vegan? You know what I'm saying? So don't even worry about your omegas, man. Just eat your hemp seeds, drink your hemp milk, eat your flax, eat your chia, and you're gonna get all the omegas that you need. Let's see. A lot of you guys know about the fiber in the water. Actually, I quit for a day immediately. Got a headache. Yeah. You're it's all good. Any of you guys got questions? Coffee mix. Yeah. Coffees and cigarettes are things that loosen up your bowels, right? So like you go for that morning smoke, and then you got to put it out early because you got that. You got to take a poo, right? That's what that tobacco enema would make people do. So yeah, if you guys smoke, man, you guys got to quit smoking because food is just going to taste so much better again. Like take it from me, man. Like once you quit, you breathe so much better, and you smell everything, and you smell the food. It's really good. Yeah. Yeah. Manny Pinocchio says you gotta quit when you're gonna be able to sleep most of the day. You gotta stay in that bed, man. That bed is a healer. When you're trying to change, when you're trying to fast and detox, the sleeping is the best way to pass time. And also, when you're sleeping, your body is actually doing the most purging, right? It's purging you the most. It's actually getting the most out of you when you're sleeping, because when you're sleeping, your body goes into detox mode. And that's why I said that I don't prefer eating late at night. I would recommend eating when the sun is up, when you have when you have activities to do. You know what I mean? When you can actually kind of like burn off those calories. Because one thing that we have to remember, okay, it's not just about simple sun up, sun down, right? It's when it gets dim, your body starts creating melatonin, right? And so the melatonin, it signals you that you're tired, that you want to start going to sleep, and that slows down your metabolism. Okay, so now you're slowing down your metabolism, and you eat food. So if you're gonna eat food and you're slowing down your metabolism, well then that food is just gonna stay in you. It's not breaking down. You know what I mean? If you eat like a heavy sandwich, like I used to, and I'm trying to kick that habit, late at night. But if you eat something like that late at night, you're not gonna have the metabolic activity, the metabolism. You're not gonna have that activity. You know what I mean? To break it down. So it was really just going to be sitting in you, creating pus, creating mucus. Remember, guys, anything that doesn't get out of you turns into a pussy renderation of like a mucus. Like, for example, eating flesh and dairy, because they're blood based, it creates a pus, right? And if you eat something starch based, it creates a mucus, right? The starch, it builds up, and then the mucus, your body tries to get it out, so it creates mucus. So the pus from the meat, and the cheese and the eggs, and the mucus from the sugary, starchy foods and the processed sugars and stuff like that, it's just a bad mix, and you just got to get it out. And if you're not able to sleep, you're going to be cranky. You're going to be falling into your temptations. It's going to be a bad show, guys. What's going on, NASA CGI Snakes? Just shouting out everybody in the chat. You guys are keeping it real. Kuma, you have a lot of good questions. Kuma Kai, Akua, I hope you got to tune into last night's stream, because I answered a lot of your questions. A lot of them were vital. Purifying the blood is the true teachings of the scripture. Yep. You could, the water to the wine, drinking that pure water, the pure air, which is the air. Jesus turning water into wine is extracting that hydrogen from the air and turning it into blood, because it's talking about standing in the reeds, right? In the reeds. And Moses got put into the reeds, the basket, right? It's always about the reeds with the river. This is talking about the hydration, the hydrogen going into your blood, because your lungs look like reeds, like Nile reeds. Look, I'll show you guys. Okay, and lungs, lungs. It's all symbolic. It's all about transmutation. It's all about biology. The Bible. It's all about acidic and alkaline. So we have the reeds here, and it's like a network. It creates a network where the water gets like inlet, right? It inlets the water and it feeds everything in the wetlands, and that's exactly what your lungs are like. As these bronchioles, they kind of open up and they split off and diverge. And if you look, there's very like tiny like capillaries, and they flare out here, all through here. They shake and go back and forth, and they stand up like reeds. So that's what we're talking about when you take in that air through the chest, and it extracts the oxygen and the hydrogen out of it, and it feeds your reeds or your river systems. And this is the tree of life. Okay, this is your tree of life. If you turn it upside down, you have a tree. Or if you keep it like this is your root systems for trees. Okay, so we are walking, talking trees. Okay, we are trees personified, and we have to breathe, and we have to breathe nice, clean air. The lungs are the #1 most vital organ. Okay, you get shot through your lungs, damn, you know what I mean? You get water in the lungs, you know what I'm saying? You that's why the lungs are regenerating itself so fast all the time. You're always breathing in and out and in and out, regenerating, because it's the most important organ you have. Okay, by far, it is your motor. Your heart is simply a valve regulating how much to let through. Okay, so we got to keep it clean. We got to keep it clean, guys. So that's that little personification there. Let's get back to the chat. I'm gonna wrap this up now. I shared with you guys the exciting footage that I had, and I have footage of other family members. So I want to share that in the future, and I want to do some live tests. I want to get some people that you guys don't know on this stream, and I want to get some tests going on live. But let me just read these. So start saying your goodbyes, people, in the chats, and get all the questions out because I gotta start wrapping this up. And once again, thanks everybody for the super chat donations. That's definitely gonna help get the better camera, and so we can see all that awesome footage in like HD. You know what I mean? Okay, it's getting late. My metabolism is dropping. My core temperature is dropping. I'm breathing less. You know, the breath is what creates the heat for your body. Okay, and as it gets later in the night, you're gonna realize you breathe less. So if you get the shivers at night, just start breathing more. Okay, and that's why you shiver when you go because you're cold and your body is trying to warm you up. So it's trying to create that friction. And the little capillaries in your lungs, they're like tiny little grass blades, and they rub up against each other and create that heat. That's why men are typically warmer than women, right? You have your girlfriend, oh my God, you're so warm. You know what I mean? Because men, we have bigger lungs typically, right? So we get really hot. Let's see here. I have a girlfriend that just won't get on board with me with this health journey. Do I just leave her? You know what? I would say don't stress yourself out. But if it's getting to the point where you can't imagine yourself, because remember, you're on a journey. You're just starting your journey. And if you can't imagine yourself finishing that journey with someone who's growing with you, then yeah, leave them. You know what I mean? Leave them behind. You have your own life to live here. You know, you're not a slave to somebody else. You're already a slave to the viruses and the tapeworms inside of you. You know what I mean? Eating what they want you to eat. Why be with a person just because of, you know what I mean? Now give them a chance to grow. Give them, you know, it might take a year, it might take 2-3 years, but as long as you see that dedication, then that's a good thing. And maybe just show her how much better you are first. You know, a lot of people, they go a week into like a change and they're like, oh, you got to do this with me or else we're breaking up and you're not healthy. Well, you just a week ago, you weren't healthy either, right? So we got to like have patience with the people we love. And also, it also helps to realize like, you know, how much do we love that person? You know, like, can we put up with them not going to the gym, not eating right? Like I showed you guys that clip the other day of that 70-year-old lady and her husband. Like look at this. Okay, I have to show you this. Her name is Annette Larkins, and in this video, she was a 70-year-old vegan, and raw vegan at that, and she decided to go vegan, but her husband didn't. Okay, and now the reason why I'm saying this because it's exactly right up your alley. This beautiful young-looking woman. Every time they're out in public, they say, hey, oh, is this your daughter or is this your girlfriend that you have with you? And he has to say, embarrassingly, no, it's my wife. Here he is right here. Here's this old fool who wouldn't change for the better. You know what I mean? Now, who does that? Look at them. They're both here. A nice like Florida looking couple. I think that's where they're at, or California or something like that. She's her skin is tight. She's got a thin waist, like a nice curvy figure, and he's struggling to keep his eyes open. You know what I mean? And I joked around and I said, I bet he can't even get it up for her, and that's something serious because you know, as a partner, you want to be able to pleasure each other in all facets of life, you know, like mentally stimulating, you know, read the books that they're reading, or at least the types of books, you know what I mean, or at least read. If your spouse reads, and you gotta read too, you know what I mean, you gotta share some sort of interest. So yeah, be patient with her. But if it's getting to a point where it's like, wow, like you're never going to change and you're always getting sick and you're always complaining and you're always like going to the doctor and taking days off work or missing things that we want to do because you're too lazy, or you're not helping out because you're too late, you know what I mean? Then yeah, there's always other fish in the sea. And you know what? Then you go to like a vegan convention and you see this beautiful woman there that's vegan, that has all the same beliefs, and you go out to eat and she takes you to this spot that you never even knew about, and you're like, damn, this girl's elevating me. You know what I mean? You always want someone that elevates you. You know what I'm saying? And if you're that person that's elevating, well, I think it should work kind of like like kind of like a tandem thing, like, you know, like a relay race. You elevate and exalt the person and throw them higher, and then they reach down and then they grab their hand and lift you higher, then you're up above them and then you lift them higher. She helps you get a job, you get promoted, and then you buy her a new thing, and then she helps you, you know what I mean? It's just a back and forth symbiotic type of thing. Yeah, she either said that, yeah, she got that pleasant odor going on. That's really good, and it's very important. You know what I mean? And like I said, if you guys want to do it the kind of emergency way, hydrogen peroxide and lavender oil on like a tampon and putting that inside with some like coconut oil to like lubricate it, that definitely really helps the inside pH and smell. And I think your boyfriend or your man will definitely notice the smell get lots better. So remember that coconut oil, hydrogen peroxide with some water, and some lavender oil or something like that really help. Okay, let's see. They tried to review someone's message. Kuma, it was saying F that. And I don't know why you said F that, but they try to hold that back. I don't care about that. Yeah, here, I can post my email address, guys. Like I said, I'm backed up with emails. If you've sent me an email in the past week, then I'm just getting around to it now. But I am definitely getting onto it. Don't worry. I can't leave you guys hanging at all. Okay, I can't. Let's see. Let's see, freshness always. Pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are another good thing to detoxify worms, you know, to change your inner ecology to get them to leave. Let's see here. Man, you guys are really great. Kuma said that his girl's the only omega that he needs. Aren't you sweet? Yeah, I posted on my email. Yeah, I smoke weed. Hell yeah, I smoke weed. Like I stay smoking weed. I think I smoke a little too much weed. In fact, I want to start vaping. You know what I mean? I can't really eat it. I'm like allergic to it. Like I had this crazy night in college once where I like depleted all my enzymes or something, and I overdid it. I ate too much. I greened out. I was shaking. I was puking and diarrheaing. And then after that, I couldn't eat weed again. I can't even eat hemp seeds, hemp milk. I can't do it. If you gave me a cookie and said, "Don't worry, it's vegan," and I bite it, instantly I feel it in the back of my throat, and I say, "There's hemp in it, isn't there?" They say, "Yeah, there is." And I say, "Shit." But I do smoke hella weed. I like sativa because sativa is the helper. Sativa in Greek means to help, the helper. The indica is not typically your strain that you find in your medicine. If you look at your lotions, if you look at your topicals, your shampoos, if you look at types of foods and stuff like that, they always take the sativa, the sativum, that strain. They rarely take the indica, if ever. So you'll go on the back and you'll see like the lavandula sativa, you know what I mean, the neroli sativa, and that's the stuff that helps. That's the stuff that's therapeutic. So if y'all are on the streets and y'all are thinking like, sativa hybrid or indica, definitely sativa. It's the inspiring weed. It's the one that doesn't put you to the couch. It's not the indica couch. I like to paint on sativa. It keeps me awake, and it doesn't give me that appetite, that like, you know, craving. I can just, you know, live my day. I can drive with it. I can do everything I need to do. And you know, this is Canada, so we can smoke anywhere we want to smoke, really. So but yeah, I smoke hella weed. I probably smoke about like a half ounce a week. Okay, no breaks chase, peace and love. Thanks for joining us. We should go to bed as close to sunset as possible, people. Absolutely right, Kuma. Absolutely 100% right. I once escaped to the forest. I once planned to go to the forest for like 2 weeks. Me and my buddy, we went out to the forest. We built a lot of stuff, built a lot of gardens, planted a lot of food. Yo, eyes open finally. Peace. Peace and love. All right. Yeah, sounds good. Thank you for joining me. Good night. Yeah, we went out there into the wilderness, and man, you know what? We were just so exhausted by the time nightfall came that we just went to sleep with the sun. Like, I mean, the sun went down, it went dark in the forest. We heard all these sounds, and then just it was tough to stay awake. I brought my like chill, calm soundtrack and just played that. We were just showed up in the forest. All these animals must have been like, yo, who are these guys and why are they so damn peaceful? They're not setting up no traps. What? They're actually adding to our ecology. What? So it was great. She ether, peace. Oh, she says peace to eyes open. um, okay, everything's love. Peace. Have a good night. I'm wrapping this up. Toro, thank you very much. Thanks everybody for joining me. Hey, Gerald Gunnels, thanks so much, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for all the the super chat. Like I said, my next super chat bulk, I am getting a camera for our microscope so we can, like you guys have said, you said you guys want me to look at the microscope when I drink chlorophyll and sea moss. So I'm definitely going to do that for you guys. Since you guys donated, you guys definitely get to see that. Okay. So okay, I got a couple more questions, but I'm getting to the end of this. Toro Bravo says shit was all good a week ago. I know, right? Just rocked your world. Everything is upside down. Okay, last couple questions here. Yeah, guys, I put a black screen on purpose. Like it's a black screen on purpose. I'm not you know, I'm not sharing the. I just did this because, well, you know, I like what can I say? I shared all my footage. You know, I thought maybe you guys were getting bored of it. It was just looping over and over again. So, so let's see. Yeah, email me, guys. Email me. Get at me. I always get back. New Perspective says, Masterpiece, what's my take on ropeworm parasites and the debate about if they are worms or if they are just linings of the intestine? No, they are worms. They are worms. They are intestinal parasites that are sucking your energy dry. They pump out certain chemicals, which is picked up by the vagus nerve and transmitted to your brain to make you crave things like Taco Bell, KFC, fried foods, and all the stuff that they like to eat. That is all. That Chief Might says, what about turpentine? That's a really good segue because turpentine is exactly the stuff that is going to alkalize your body to the point where it is going to offend those worms, and they're going to want to get out of your body. Now, when you drink the turpentine with some sugar, the sugar is going to your body has a code where it lets out it lets certain things into your body. We said like the other night, if you're mixing organic calcium with like a rock calcium, then it's gonna let it pass into places that it shouldn't be, right? So if you take a sugar cube, right, and you drop turpentine oil on it, your body thinks that you've just taken a drop of sugar. So then the worms say, sugar? Okay, let me come out. I'm going to get that. But then they go to eat the sugar and realize it's laced with turpentine and they scurry away. And when you drink this, yo, you're going to be feeling worms under your skin. You're going to have the creepy crawlies underneath your skin, guys. Word life. You're going to be like, you're gonna think some weird kind of spell or something. Like it's weird. Like you feel it going up your skull, underneath your hair, and you scratch and you're scratching. You know what I mean? It's definitely a very, very, very weird feeling. So I definitely say get the turpentine on your feet first. Put it on the soles of your feet. You can find it on Amazon. This is one of the oldest remedies known to man. This goes in the furthest recordings of the Aboriginals all over the earth. Any pine tree. Pine trees are abundant in Africa. I should know. I've been there, and it's not just the north and south. It is right dead smack dab in the middle of Africa, of the continent. There's pine trees, so everybody had access to turpentine, and even when they got scurvy and they gave the sailors pine needles, the turpentine was really helping them to get rid of those worms that they also had picked up from that dirty meat, infested meat. Okay. Yeah, man. Smoke word ever there. Now let's see. Turpentine is great. HGH, yeah, that's right. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Cholesterol? New perspective. HGH. You talking about cholesterol? Okay. Rula, what do you think about Chinese mats or styrofoam less beds? I think that it's great, especially if you could have like a natural type of floor, or you can get like a grounding mat. I can show you guys what that is. Uh, Grounding mat. It looks really cool. I'm not gonna lie. It's grounding mat. It's new technology. You just stand on it. You make sure you ground it to like a pipe that's coming into your house, like the water main, or just some sort of pipe that's grounded. And it brings that grounding energy, that negative energy, that taking away energy that's going to take, the ions with extra, with the molecules with extra ions to give, those free radicals, bacteria, you know what I mean, the microbes and the little pollen spores. It's going to be able to just ground it basically and filter it out of you. It's gonna like decharge you. You know how like you run across the carpet and you get all charged up and then you go touch a door handle and you get that shock? Well, if you're getting all charged up, then that means that you are drawing in a lot of stuff out of the air, a lot of heavy metals, radioactive materials, a lot of little like foil, like aluminum clusters in the air from the chemtrails. This these mats, like this longevity, this is a good this is a good company. They yeah, they it decharges you, right? So it de-sticks you, so things stop sticking to you. You know what I mean? It's just much better. So this is just grounding mats and whatever like that, and they've experienced them on shoes and stuff like that. So this is all day one with the plants. They all look the same, right? All from the same source. And this slipper has the grounding technology in it. Okay, so you can walk around anywhere like you're barefoot. And then this is on day 8. These have died, but these flowers still seem pretty good. You know what I mean? Because it's not being affected by those free radicals. So yeah, grounding is definitely a great thing to do. Okay. Let's see here. I got some more questions from you guys, and like I said, we are about to close this out, but I just want to kind of be polite and get everybody, because it's a Sunday night, it's kick back, laid back stream. I had nothing to do, y'all had nothing to do, and y'all are just joining me here right now, listening to my calm, cool voice. Thank you for joining us on the Quiet Storm. 93.7 BLK. MMS, new perspective. MMS, yeah, I got MMS in my cupboard. Miracle Mineral Solution by Jim Humble. Very, very, very good man. I mean, a white guy going to Africa, giving them MMS and just healing them of the mumps and measles and stuff like that, right? Like, I mean, it's just great. And malaria, right? The malaria. I went to Africa. I found out how real malaria was. But you know what? I didn't get any malaria in all the 6 months that I got it. And my girl, who is from Africa, who's from Malawi, she got malaria. So, point that, like, figure that one out. I had been vegan like for 7 years at that point. And I went there and I drank their water and I did all that. All I did was I did like a nice detox there. I enemaed before I went. You know what I mean? And I was so mucusless that the bacteria had nowhere to stay. I was so alkaline that malaria had nowhere to stay. See, the thing is in Africa, the diet is like a meat and a blood and starch diet, as Dr. Sebi says. They're eating their starches with the white rice and the grain, and then the meat. You know what I mean? And it's very sad because they got a lot of botanicals. She Ether, thanks for staying up late to watch, girl. I really appreciate you. I really do. Okay, so let me see. Francois, no problem. You're welcome to the screen. I'm gonna head out of here, guys. It's so hard to leave you guys, man. You guys always it's hard. And Ronald Little says, why does almost the entire channel have the wrench? Because these are people, you gotta understand, these are people that I've built up a communication with a camaraderie with over on Brother Sanchez's page, right? So most of us have linked on Brother Sanchez's page, and we've built up a relationship. So as soon as I started cranking up my live streams and these people came over here, then you know what? I had to wrench them up because it's the wrench squad. But I have been debating taking all wrenches away, so it's nothing personal, and to keep everything neutral. But I don't know about that. Chess Piece says, Masterpiece, peace. Keep up with this. It's all great info. Got to experiment with the frequencies and magnetism with blood. Yes, we do. I tried holding up some magnets to my blood, and nothing really happened. So that's like definitely a bad sign, or it just means that my my magnets weren't strong enough. Kai Kai Kaikowski May Kai Kaikowski May says use honey instead of sugar. I wouldn't recommend that, people. You know, they always say if man was to leave Earth, man and woman, you know, humans was to leave Earth, then nature would flourish. But if you destroyed the bees, then we would all die. I think we really just need to leave them alone to their own devices. I think that the only thing we can truly do to help them is by building a lot of bee hives for them, bee houses for them, like safe refuge for them to stay, maybe even guarding land, whole fields for them, and just not touching it. Simply because they don't need our help. We don't need to keep them. We don't got to smoke them out. We don't got to take their honey. People say, yeah, but sometimes they produce too much. When in nature has anything ever produced too much? When has a lion ever produced too much semen? When has an orangutan ever got down too many coconuts and upset the whole balance of the universe? You know what I mean? So we just need to let the bees do their thing. It's really our frequencies that we're putting up. You know what I mean? So everybody out there, go build a beehive. I'm gonna do that. You know, screw it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write that down. Build beehive and record it and broadcast it. Build beehive. Because you know what? If we give the bees and the bats a place to sleep and to build, then we're gonna have a lot less pestilence. And why do I say bats? Because bats eat mosquitoes, and I can't stand mosquitoes. Second reason why Tchaikovsky I wouldn't use honey is because it's such a simplified form of sugar. It's kind of like when you take potatoes and you put it in a still and you let that ferment down into its basic sugars, you get alcohol. So when you take the honey and you put it into your digestive system, and we don't really have the enzymes to digest it, right? Because it's so processed, and it's already been processed by an animal at that. That it creates a type of alcohol in our lower digestive gut, and it actually ends up drying our guts and kind of getting those little microbials, those good guys down there, ends up getting them kind of drunk. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's kind of like addicting. They really like it down there. But if you would like, maple sugar is great. Maple syrup has a lot of trace minerals, like 70 trace minerals on average. It's nice and dark. It's you don't have to hurt anything or smoke anybody out. All you have to do is just tap a hole into the tree, and you're not killing the tree. And it just happens year after year after year. So plant some silver maples and get some of that maple syrup. It's worth more than gold, I believe. What is a replacement for fish? PHISH and or omega-9. Well, first of all, fish is a replacement for omega-9 already. Okay, I want to let you know. Like when you say, "Hey, I need my own omega-9s," what's a good replacement for fish? I want to say, well, no, you should be eating hemp and flax seeds, but fish has replaced that. And it's actually worse because you have to kill an animal. But then not only do you have DNA and all this. So what I would recommend is flaxseed and hemp seeds. Hemp seeds have the most perfect balance of a ratio of omega-3, 6, 9s. So that's what you want. Go to your store right now. A really, 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 really good brand is Rocky Mountain High brand. The Rocky Mountain High brand. Let me Rocky High brand hemp All right. Okay, I'll share the screen with you guys. Images. This is my favorite brand, and they also just got into CBD drinks. So everybody that's looking for like a full spectrum CBD, able to like chill you out. They own the Bob Marley's and the chill out drink line. Um, Rocky Mountain High. They use a really nice. They make a really nice hemp hearts. This I'm sure you're familiar with it. Those are in the health world. Um, I love these guys. They're totally organic, and it's just the best. Number one in the whole world for omegas. It's got your protein in the sense that it has a full, complete amino acid profile. That means that when your body takes this in, it gets to build its own proteins. You don't need to take proteins from another source because proteins just break down into nitrogen. Okay, you want to build up your protein like a plant. We are walking plants. I'm trying to tell you guys, we're walking plants. We are walking, talking, breathing, conscious plants at the height. Okay. Okay, so quickly, thank you for listening. Rula, you said thanks for the stream. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. I really enjoy you guys coming out. Isn't it the same if you go outside barefoot? Grounding. SA1. Yes, SA1. And thanks for your emails, by the way. It is the same as grounding. But the thing is that not everybody has a climate, right? And you can't just go into grass and ground. You have to actually get into the soil, that black soil. Remember, anything that's a ground, like a ground wire, is like the black wire. So you want to go into that black, dark earth, right? Tchaikovsky, I see your question about autism. One moment. So yeah, SA1. Your like I live in Canada, and 6 months out of the year it's cold. It's too cold to go barefoot, right? So some people might want a mat, or some people live in the city in a concrete jungle and they can't get to the soil, right? So yeah, there's a lot of people in different types of going through a lot of different types of things. What about dental metals? I don't like it. I don't like dentists at all. I don't like them prodding around in my mouth with metal that is harder than my enamel, creating scratches that are leading to sugars being trapped in those little scratches and opening up the way for cavities. You should be your own dentist. There's a lot of good videos out there on how to make your own toothpaste, peppermint oil, or just spearmint oil, coconut oil, some baking soda, neem, cinnamon, clove, all these things, whole spice, all these things. You can make it yourself. Tchaikovsky may, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Please tell me if I am. Masterpiece. What's good for autism? What's good for autism is a 100% vegan diet, as raw as you can, and what's more is that you want to get your juices and your shakes in there as much as possible. But what's more is that you want to you want to get the heavy metals out of your body. Okay, so you want to get as much distilled water in you as possible, and chlorophyll. Okay, chlorophyll. So this is Tchaikovsky May, autism. Chlorophyll, distilled water is going to bind to those heavy metals and take it out. Okay, now you want to go on a mucus-free diet, which is like mucus-free legumes and vegetables, like lentils. Those have like starches in them, and carrots. Those have starches in them. So you want to go for starch-free vegetables and fruits. Fruits, the number one, and kale is great too. Seaweeds are great. Mushrooms. And why you want to be raw is because you want to have as much life to give the gut as possible. The autism stems from an imbalance in the gut, usually leaky gut. So you want to fix that gut, repair the gut up with some nice alkalizing, nice raw fruits and vegetables, and that will stop the torment on the inside. And then the vagus nerve will finally have something else to transmit to the brain other than adversity. And most likely there might be some mucus in the brain as well that has crossed the barrier. So possibly I would say just do a nice flush. Try to get your hand on some Kangen water or ionized water. and raw vegan diet, and chlorella, and distilled water. Once you fix that gut, you fix that brain. Okay. High iron rich foods and copper rich foods as well. Copper rich, like mangosteen, beets, copper rich foods. So beets got starch in it. So you want copper rich foods like black radish, things like that. Okay. Let's see. Flat from the start. What if when it's storm, a wormhole is open and rain is the water, and it rain is the water draining from a whirl through the clouds which we are outside sky? Yeah, I know. I know what you mean, bro. I know. It's like a portal, right? This rain stuff is tripping me out too. I don't believe what they say. Okay. Okay, so this is at the end of the comments here. I'm wrapping it up. Peace and love, everybody. Get our people healthy. Keep it up. Jordan Ship, thank you very much, man. Hey, been a little while, man. You're always rocking with me. Danielle Finch, much love and respect to you, Master Peace. Learning so much, my brother. Thank you. It feels good to have somebody that can lend an ear to me. You know what I mean? My family doesn't always want to listen. It's Reynold Little says it's all good about the wrenches, more or less being silly. Can't trust internet profiles. You're so right, man. I'm learning that more than ever. I'm getting more traffic on my channel now, and I'm getting more hate. Can you believe I'm getting hate? Yeah, Reynold Littles. Yeah, chia seeds also. That's great for omegas. Great. And it's great to help to lubricate your bowels so you can move through. Ramen Nudoa. It might be Ramen Nudoa, Ramen Nudwa. I don't know. Do you believe in such a thing as perfect health, mental, spiritual, physical? No, I don't. If there was such a thing, you would not need to be here, or you would cease to exist. And that's just my personal opinion. I believe anything that is perfect, why would it even need to manifest? A perfect, this realm is where things get worked out. This is where ideas get perfected. This is where ideas of the crude and of the gross get worked up into the noble and the complex and the truly noble. I said noble, but the truly, what's another word for noble? Very righteous. Yeah, that's a better word. Very righteous. You know what I mean? We have to build ourselves up because there's so many peace Shinobi. There's so many evils around us, right? So like Misael says, good health is true wealth. You know what I mean? So definitely got to work towards that cleanliness, which is godliness, but at the same time realizing that there is no true perfect, because if you were perfect like Adam and Eve, right, you'd have to get kicked out of the garden. You're not doing anything. You're perfect. What? You're rich. You made it. You've traveled everywhere you want to go. You screwed all the women you want to screw. You wear all the clothes you wanted to wear. You drove every car. It's like what Jay-Z says. Fuck, I don't want much. Fuck, I drove every car. Some nice cooked food. Some nice clean draws. Just some simple shit when you've had everything. You know what I mean? And that's like what this health is. Like, if you have everything, then your life is just too simple. So this is a challenging realm. This is a realm of electromagnetics. That's the classroom. And the mission, the lesson is ignore that lower body and rise above and use your mental body to ignore the addictions of the lower planes. Okay? And with that piece of knowledge being said, I would have to say peace and love to the chat. These plasma donating centers, Tori Povich, it sounds like Maury Povich, but Tori Povich, what's the truth about these plasma centers? The truth is that they're manipulating blood and they're feeding they're making clones off of it, right? I think that they're first of all, is very highly energetic, right? The blood plasma that holds the key, the Akashic records. Also, if you take a vial from the, if you take a bucket of water from the lake, and then out of that one bucket you take 2 cups, and then you fly one of those cups to Japan, and you keep the other cup where you got it, say in America, and then you shine a laser affecting the molecules in one cup, the other cup in all the way in Japan is going to be affected at the exact same time because it came from the same source. If you affect the bucket that you got the water from out of the river, both cups will be affected at the same time. So it's quantum entanglement, quote unquote, but it's just as above, so below, and law of correspondence. Everything is connected. And so, you know, if you donate your blood, they can do voodoo on your blood. You know how they poke needles in dolls and then they make someone hurt, like in another continent? They can do, they do rituals on the blood sacrificing, okay? They get power put to their plan by blood sacrifice. Usually in the back in the days when they came here and they hijacked this reality, they would put us on the top of spikes and have the whole town witness the blood, and they would use that trauma to get into your chakra, to get into your psyche and your whole kundalini. But now they just need you to donate your blood because, hey, it's in you to donate, it's in you to give, which I do not believe. It's in you to keep, it's in you to keep fighting off parasites, and it's in you to keep alive, right? And like Kuma says, it's growth is always motion. All right, so never stay stagnant, people. Always grow, always go for the challenge, and never be satisfied, never be complacent. Always grow, always evolve. And with that, I'd like to say peace and love to everybody in the chat. And what I'd like you to do is, I'm just gonna drop my email again, masterpiece9